All right, for segment 1 today, we're starting a new series. We're talking about Beyond the Supernatural. And I may be wrong about this, but I know I haven't, but I don't think Heathen Dog's ever played this.
No, I did play this once or twice. I know, you know what? Not the second edition.
Got it.
When
So
I was
you
in
have
high
played
school,
it.
I played Beyond the Supernatural first edition a couple of times.
Okay, excellent. Well, that good, because I was going to say that we might be stumbling through this a little bit. I know you've got much more Palladium experience than that, but
that's our jam.
Right. Well, that's what these read-throughs are for. Remember, these read-throughs are to present a game to you. We're not coming across on these read-throughs as completely authoritative on this. I mean, Heathen Dog could do that much better than me anyway when it comes to Palladium. But we want to show you the game to entice you to play the game or see if it's something you want to play. And we do this in the manner of showing you pretty much almost page for page what's in the book so that you're not surprised. You know, if you want a 10-minute overview of Beyond the Supernatural, let us know, and maybe I can make a video, or maybe I can swindle Heathen Dog into making a 10-minute introduction video on that. But we'll find out. And as you've just noticed, RPG Digest is a live stream podcast discussion, not a concise step-by-step tutorial, and we may deviate off topic and go on tangents, so please enjoy. Here are the websites that you can go to all about us. LegionMyth.tv. We got our Discord. Lots of things happening on our Discord. Apparently, lots of things happening on other people's Discords talking about us too. So thank you for that. And we've got our locals and Redbubble. If you want to buy our gear, somebody said I should actually show the Legion of Myth gear in the pictures below. But I'm like, if you don't think that we have Legion of Myth stuff, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we wear the shirts like every week. We've got cups and so forth. I wanted to show off some of the more interesting stuff, but hey, maybe I'll get some of Legion of Myth items up there. And you can watch us on Rumble, Odyssey, YouTube, Twitch. And if you want to donate to us, the best way to do it, again, doubled up. Yes, we double up, double pleasure for your gums. PayPal and stream. What's that?
You were doing a double commercial, and then I think your brain went to condoms, and then it got weird.
Condoms? What?
Yeah.
Double pleasure's waiting for you. Double pleasure from Double Mint Gum. Anyway, there we go. You can donate on PayPal and Streamlabs. And of course, here's our charity, Nerds and Warriors. You can click on that QR code or take a picture of it or whatever the hell it's called. Or you can look in the description below. And you can donate to the Wounded Warrior Project to help Wounded Warriors get job placement, mental help. Their health. Health is the word I was looking for. Mental health and physical therapy. And finally, we believe that role-playing games take place in fantastic worlds, and that every good tabletop group, tabletop community should follow these 3 core values: escapism, not representation; entertainment over activism; and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. Oop. And here we go. Let's share my screen, my professional book.
Your professional book.
All updated and everything. Bam! Beyond the Supernatural. Look at that. And to be clear, just so everybody knows, Heathen Dog has gone much more deeply into this book than I have. I have skimmed it. I have read various paragraphs of it. I get the gist of it. Pretty much the entire first section, I have a grasp of in a very 10,000 foot view. But I hate reading PDFs, and I don't have the physical copy of this, and it's very difficult for me to read. So, it is what it is.
Well, this is our first Palladium book in so far throughout the year that we've done that tells the setting in a story-like format, where a lot of the nuance and a lot of what you get from the feel is done by reading conversation between NPCs. Now, this is not solely the only time Palladium's done this. They've done this in Nightbane a little bit and a lot in Chaos Earth. And Chaos Earth was written very well, and it's a pleasure to read. This one,
I thought it was written well. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, generally speaking, I thought it was well written.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. This is not as good as Chaos Earth. It wasn't as engaging. But
I hear, but you talk about Chaos Earth. Everybody loves Chaos Earth. Yeah, I don't know anybody who doesn't.
Fair enough. But the NPCs talking to each other is telling the story of your character before your character is made, meaning that most people are going to think you're a crackpot. Most people are going to think you're a con man. Most people are going to think you're full of crap, because magic levels are so low in this particular time period that most magic is easily indistinguishable from stage magic, is easily indistinguishable from your normal, David Copperfield, David Blaine, mind freaking everybody. When you do something, you're at such low power level, people think it's a trick, which is good and bad for you. Good because no one's going to, take you to a lab and, dissect your brain, but bad because what you do is protect the world from supernatural threat. Only no one is going to believe you do it. Because most of the time, 99% of the time, you are so weak that you can barely move a pencil, across a table, or do the whole like phone book thing, like blow on a phone book and turn like half the pages all at once. It's that power level 99% of the time. And then it, when you read the backstory, you start reading the conversation, you start to get a glimpse of, no, they have a high level power, but only when faced against a supernatural threat. And then their power level increases by factors. So you do get to be powerful, but only against the powerful. And I'm not talking just any old, oh, I'm up against like 10 guys with knives and I've got nothing, I'm in danger of dying. No, you don't get a power bump for that. The game actually allows the game master to say, okay, maybe you can give them a ×2 multiplier. But if you're facing a supernatural threat, even something as stupid as a Romero zombie, like easily, like one of them, like easily taken care of, you'll get a minimum ×2 bump. Something more pressing, like if you actually go up against a banshee, a wraith, or a vampire, you're going to get ×3, ×4, ×5. And if you go up against a real supernatural threat, like a demon or a devil, you get a ×10 power level just spike while you're fighting it. So unless people see you during these moments, they're not going to believe you because you can't prove it.
And one of the things that will come up in the book, and I was talking with somebody else about this last week, and this person hated this idea, and I get it, is I like how this game handles the trope of, well, if they're so real, how does nobody know about them? If they're so, because it will actually discuss that in here.
Mhm.
Well, all it takes is one person to see it, to get it on camera or whatever, and all of a sudden now you know it's real. So how can you live in a world where everybody disbelieves this stuff? And while it is very tropey, I get it. You go back to D&D and so on and so forth. I'm very pro trope, and it explains it in a way that might make you face palm your forehead. That's fine, but I accept it because I like it conceptually. Because I was kind of arguing with not arguing, but I was going back and forth with Heathen Dog when he was trying to tell me some of the aspects of the game a couple weeks ago, and I was like, Mage did it better. Paradox is better than what this game is doing.
Yeah.
But after actually going through it, and like I said, I more skimmed it. I was like, okay, yeah, I see why that works now. It's not so much of a disbelief. It doesn't need paradox. The disbelief happens because things manifest, or should I say, unmanifest in a way that how do you provide evidence when none exists?
Yeah. I mean, sure, if you saw it, it's in your memory and you believe it. But afterward, trying to explain to someone, you can't prove it because all the evidence disappears.
So we'll get into that in just a moment.
Yeah,
Let's read 3-star chats, and then we'll start going through the book. Heathen Dog, I've got the book up, but Heathen Dog's gonna be in control of what we go over. And I think this is gonna be pretty long today, but we'll keep it manageable. And if I have to break it up into 2 videos, I will. So first comment is Kill Raven. This is about first edition versus second edition. Saying first edition is better. Kill Raven says, yeah, I have to agree, but mostly because second edition is missing more than half of the supernatural part. I don't know what that means because I don't know either. But
they didn't have the minimizing power mechanic in first edition.
Okay. Second edition characters are more powerful. Variable ISP levels based on what you're facing. No magic.
Exactly. When you're facing a giant threat, you become a mega hero type character. But when you're facing a mugger, you're the great Kretzkin or whatever. You're just worthless.
And finally, Nerdy Ogre said it's like a psychic adrenaline boost.
Yeah,
I think that's a good way of describing it.
Yeah.
Okay. What page do you want me to start on?
Okay, go ahead and scroll through
Okay.
and show people all of the conversational text.
Oh my God. How many
What happened?
paragraphs did he have to put in here to say magic isn't real?
I know, right? It's all fictitious.
You can stop at any of these points if you really need to see it. Okay, beyond the supernatural, and you can see all the people who are involved in it. There we go. You can see this is, by the way, going through it so far, a very well laid out book. We'll see if that's stays true, but I like this book so far.
Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the story, and
Mhm.
this right here is important to read.
Okay.
Not the reality check part. That's for idiots who don't understand what reality is. But where's that? Where am I here? There we go. The backstory behind BTS2. In 1988, before X-Files, for The Sixth Sense, before Buffy, this is him flexing. This is Kevin flexing. Like I was
Hey, you know what?
first.
He has a right to flex because when
Yeah.
people say things like, "Oh, yeah, so that's the X Files role playing game," and I've actually heard that before,
Yeah.
I think he has the right to flex.
Okay. The concepts at the time were so new and different that many gamers found themselves at a loss when it came to setting a campaign. Looking back at it, the original needed more background, setting information, as well as a template to set up adventures. That's why, no, that's not why. You're just rectifying it. Stop it. Stop it. The two central concepts behind Beyond the Supernatural have always been and still are: one, magic and the supernatural are real, and two, few people accept the truth. Now, there are new mechanics in this edition of the book that reinforce number two, and number one in all Palladium games, the supernatural is real. So whether after the bomb,
It still has psychic powers.
well,
I
that's psychic
mean,
powers in it, and someone with magic could easily get rifted there. I mean, it happens all the time. So there you go.
hey,
Keep
you can
rocking.
watch the segments after the fact throughout the week if you want to. But have a
Okay,
good
the
day.
latter part was the most important aspect, best presented by the fictional character Dr. Victor Laszlo.
Where are
Now,
you?
Victor Laszlo uh, is one of the only printed characters that spans several different Palladium books.
Do you believe, as people have been telling me, that this is actually part of the Rifts universe?
Kevin does.
Okay. Oh, if Kevin says that if the person who designed the game says yes, then it's
Yeah.
yes.
There is one 100% incontrovertible book that is Rifts in the past. That's Chaos Earth. This one is 99.99%. Yes, this is about 100 years before the rifts open up. Or it actually says that you have to play in modern present day, today. Whatever day you're playing, that's the time period you're in. So so if you started this game, it would be in 2022. So you would have all of the technology and available stuff that you would have in 2022. You might have to change some stuff, update the equipment, but
I mean,
that's
the Laszlo name itself, even as somebody who's not a
yes,
big Rifts guy, knows
in Rifts,
flat
there
out
are
that that is a
two
city.
cities slash countries, Laszlo and New Laszlo, based
Yeah.
off of this guy.
Yeah.
And uh, Victor Laszlo in Beyond the Supernatural disappears. He actually fell into a rift and went to Rift's Earth. In later
To be fair,
series,
I like that stuff. I like
yeah,
it when games generationally combine like that. You can see a progression.
yes, Killraven. Yeah, he got pulled into the future through a rift, and he ended up in Rift's Earth, and where all of his theories were proven correct. He's the lore behind PPE, ISP, ley lines, all that stuff. He took all of the lore, modernized it, and presented it. This is how it actually will function, and magic and stuff is going to come back. It's going to be thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're crackpot. You're worthless." He laid it all out, and it was all correct.
I love this Cthulhu News Network.
Now he brings an excellent point. The setting is also very different from any of the books we've gone through so far. And you get that by reading through all of the dialogue in the beginning, which is coming up now.
Yep.
Right after this page, as a matter of fact, it goes
You
into
zoom back out.
characters talking to each other.
There.
Yeah, this is all characters talking. This is all story. This is all story. Characters talking to each other, and through that conversation, you get the gist of the world. And here it is: supernatural is real. It's extremely difficult to prove it. Psychics are real. They are super duper weak unless they are faced with a giant supernatural threat, and then they become strong. But since very little people are around for a supernatural threat or survive that magnitude of a supernatural threat, and after the threat is over, the psychics are now weak again. Again, can't prove it. And there are other mechanics that we're going to get into later that help not prove the supernatural exists. But you are basically a crackpot. You are a crackpot if you go around telling people, "Oh no, I'm a parapsychologist." You remember Ghostbusters? I'm Venkman. No, you're not. You're a crackpot.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So that's what you get throughout the conversations. And the gist of the world is different from any other book we've gone through so far. Also in the fact that there's a lot more gray area, and insanity is much more important. The insanity mechanic
That kind of surprised me because I was not expecting. It makes sense because you got Cthulhu-esque type. Now Cthulhu did
Right.
come out before this, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, when I was looking at that horror factor section, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Insanity is a lot more important in this book than it has been in any of the others so far that we've done this year. The reason being is because the gray area in this world is much bigger. It's based in the real world. It's based in now. Black and white doesn't exist. Palladium fantasy, black and white. Mechanoid trilogy.
Very
Are you
black
a
and white.
mechanoid?
You
You're
can't
bad.
get more
Are
black
you not
and
a
white.
mechanoid? You're good. That's
Right.
it. White hat, black hat. That's it. Heroes Unlimited. You're a hero or you're a villain. Black, white. This is the first book we've done this year that is shades of gray. It lives in the gray area.
Or should we say promotes shades of gray? Because I can argue that Heroes Unlimited has shades of gray in it, but this one promotes it to some degree, almost as a necessity.
Yes, it's absolutely a necessity, and you get that by reading all of the conversational dialogue that we have to skip over.
Yep.
All right, so
I'm already there.
Yeah, you're already there. I've got to get there.
Okay, let me zoom in a little bit.
Okay, this is very important. The setting is our modern world today. So it's made to be run in the current time period that you are playing in real life. It's made, don't run it as it's in 1984. Don't run it 1991. Don't run it 1995. Run it 2022 if you're running it today.
Oh, I can't Stranger Things this thing?
Yeah, no. Well, you could, but it's not meant to do that. The player characters have to reconcile everything they know about the world now with the supernatural that they're going to be introduced to. And that's part of the conundrum that, the player characters coming to terms with not only do they have powers, but supernatural creatures exist and no one can fight them except us, but no one believes us because we're a bunch of crackpots. And I still have to have a job. I can't live in the mystery machine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's cancel culture in this game.
Yeah, exactly. There's cancel culture here. So you're in trouble. There's deep fakes on the internet. No one's going to believe you. I have a picture of Cthulhu. It's grainy. It's far away. It's a deep fake. Shut up.
So you know what? I can Photoshop that as well.
Exactly. I can Photoshop too. Shut the hell up. So you live in the world of skepticism and denial. That's where you live. That's where you have to learn to live and be comfortable with that, because no one is going to thank you for doing your job. No one. Get used to that. The secret world of the supernatural. We'll read this first paragraph. People take their lives for granted. We busy ourselves with life's everyday chores and pleasures and gleefully accept everything set in the surface. When a question arises, we turn to men of science or learning, or politicians or clergy, and even celebrities. We don't question or challenge the status quo. For us, life is good, very good. But it goes on, saying that the reason our life is good is because there are people in the muck keeping the evil supernatural things from sucking our souls from actually coming into the light, from actually getting to the point where everyone knows they exist. Because at that point, it's too late. People start dying in droves. So it takes people like the player characters who may not want to, but have to live apart from the world, beneath the world, in the dark, to make sure the things in the dark don't get out.
Yeah,
Because
the
our
weirdos, the
yeah.
eccentrics, the
The world of the light, the world of hashtag whatever, celebrity this, the world of Twitter can't handle a banshee, can't handle a minor demon, can't handle a zombie, can't handle it. But zombie tropes in no. If a real zombie came out, you'd forget everything you learned about zombies and try and kneecap them. Shut up. Can't handle that. The world would crumble and fall apart. Everything would stop. The world only runs because you, as the player character, are behind the scenes, keeping them safe and fueling the furnace of the world in the basement. That's what you're doing. And it's a thankless job. And you're going to have to get over that real quick. And now we'll move on to the second part of the book, of this page. This is the premise of Beyond the Supernatural 2. Science, for all the good it has done, is wrong when it comes to the paranormal. Psychic phenomena, magic, the supernatural, demonic creatures are all very real, yet science rejects the very premise, for to do otherwise will require them to reimagine the world and force them to rewrite the laws of physics. See, I told you, this world cannot exist unless you as the player characters keep the things that they can't admit to away from their eyes. The world would stop running. Ironically, the old myths, legends, superstitions of ghost stories, the past frequently contain much more than a kernel of truth. They're all part of a frightening history that reveals a dark, hidden world of demons, monsters, magic, and evil that has always coexisted with our own and continues to thrive. Only modern people have been taught to ignore it. And that's part of a mechanic we're going to get into later. Modern people have the arbitrarily selected science to represent the accepted view of reality in such a way that most have closed their minds to all other possibilities. Any claims that challenge or threaten the worldview are ridiculed and branded as hoaxes, lies, chicanery, impossible, insane, unreal, fake news, whatever you want to call it. And that works even better in actual current time. In 2022, that works even better because most people are little bitches and will not accept anything except what they believe is true to be real. Or if you believe in something they don't, that means you're wrong and should be destroyed. Are you going to say that that you're a parapsychologist that hunts demons for a living in a world like that? No, man. No. You'll be canceled so fast, it's going to be crazy. Then we move on to the Secret War. And we get into now more dialogue between characters. Anderson and Petrakowski, Petrovsky, I guess, put the last of the Nightblood demons down. They could already feel the creature rapidly discorporate underneath them. Now, this whole thing is just an example to show you that proof cannot exist. When a supernatural creature dies, it disappears. It discorporates. It stops existing.
I had to look at that word a few times. I was like, wait, what's that word?
Yeah, it stops existing. So blood samples, teeth, hair, genetic sequencing, you can't do any of it because no proof is left behind. And this whole thing is just to tell you that the reason why this war is secret is because after each battle is fought, it's like it never happened, except for the people who are left alive. And those people are all the player characters. And you already knew it existed. So there you go. Go ahead and go through starred comments, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
I only have two.
Go for it.
Both of them from Darthiak versus, I like using the HF horror factor mechanic, Wormwood, Nightbane. And was using this setting also, and I posted a response to there. I remember in our Palladium fantasy game, I think the one Garthon ran, he used horror factor, and I use it for anything unnatural in my After the Bomb games.
Yep.
But it has to be extremely unnatural, not like just another beast or something out there, And then this sounds like it'd be close to Nightbane before the Day of Darkness. And I couldn't remember the name of the game, but somebody put it up here, which is what's the zombie game? Dead Rain. And we will not be covering Dead Rain because I have an issue with zombies.
Yeah, he doesn't like zombies, so we're not doing that. Yes, Nightbane is a separate universe. but all Palladium universes are connected by rifts, so don't worry about it. But the supernatural did exist, but it didn't exist in the forefront of society. After the Day of Darkness, obviously, people couldn't say no, that supernatural stuff doesn't happen, because it did to everyone all at once. So that's how it worked. Now we'll move on to PDF page 14.
I think I'm there. This is the
After
one, right?
starts, the world. Yeah. Our world is infested with evil, not just self-serving, sinister, or murderous people, but actual monsters, creatures from the dark alien dimension, supernatural beings that have hunted, preyed upon, and toyed with human beings since our ancestors first climbed out of trees. As impossible as it is to may seem, these malignant creatures walk the streets of our cities and towns. Like a forest predator, most people never see one, but they're there, lurking in the shadows, watching and waiting for the right moment to pounce upon an unsuspecting victim. I mean, think about it. Even in our world, sometimes people go into the woods and they don't come out. Did they get lost?
It turned into
Probably.
werewolves.
No. Did they get lost and just find somewhere to die and no one found them? Probably.
Aliens anal probed them.
But what if? What if the things in the dark are sometimes there? It's like the Doctor Who episode, Forest in the Library, or Library in the Forest, or something like that, where there were these invisible creatures that live in shadows, and if you touch a shadow infested by them, it eats all your flesh. They're not in every shadow, but they could be in any shadow. You could walk into a forest, the same forest 100 times, and come back out completely fine. Then one day you walk in and don't come out. What happened to you? Oh, he must have got lost. Oh, he must have been injured. Oh, he must have got attacked by a bear. Can't find his body. Well, it's the woods. Animals take apart dead things and spread them around. We'll find him eventually. What if you don't? Doesn't matter. People forget about it. Just another guy who got lost in the woods. Happens every once in a while, right? It's these things. The things that live in the dark. Got you.
What about those stairs in the woods? I don't even know what that is. Stairs in the woods?
I don't like stairs in the woods. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, truth be told, it seldom goes that far, because most people who experience a supernatural encounter seldom report it to the authorities. They seldom speak of it at all, or to anyone. Others keep silent to avoid social suicide and being labeled and ostracized as a weirdo, freak, or lunatic. And that's exactly what would happen in the current age. Yep. Exactly. In either case, most people find it easier to convince themselves of anything rather than accept the horrifying truth. Why? Because the truth is impossible to accept. Most people, 99.99 ad infinitum percentage of people on this planet, would not be able to accept that demons are real. Even if confronted with one slobbered on you, bit your arm off, they would still find a way to go, oh, it was someone drugged me, or I had hallucination, or I had an accident, lost my arm, and I was just hallucinating. And every doctor in the world would say, yep, you're right. And every psychologist would push you toward that conclusion.
Because so I can medicate you more.
Believe it either.
You need medicine. Here you go.
Exactly. They'll put you on drugs until you don't think that anymore. That's exactly what they'll do. And we'll go to the next paragraph. As for the creatures themselves, they are the stuff of nightmares spawned from some alien dimension. Strange and terrible life forms beyond human comprehension, and whose very existence seems to defy our understanding of life and reality. This is where it gets Cthulhuized. This is where Palladium becomes Cthulhuized. Because all of these things are so inhuman as to be horrifying to even look upon, let alone understand. And that is the core concept of Call of Cthulhu. Now, they don't go as far here as in Call of Cthulhu, but they expanded insanity and horror factor in this book from the other previous books that we've done on this channel. Though there is talk of angels and creatures of light and goodness, we focus our attention on creatures of darkness. Demonic monsters, well, the reason being is because an angel or a creature of light and goodness is not going to come down and eat little Joey.
Angel of death, I'm just saying, but no.
Hey, you know what?
I get what you're saying.
Then you could say it was his time. So there you go.
Fair, there you go.
There it is. But we're not going to talk about them in this book, because that's not the point of this book. You are a defender of humanity. Angels are not your enemy. banshees, ghosts, poltergeists, vampires, demons. These are your enemies. So these are the things that we talk about in this book, but let it be known that there are angels and supernatural creatures of light and goodness, and Cubs win the World Series every year if you're a Cubs fan type place, right? That's how it works. But we're going to focus on the stuff you're going to deal with, which is the baddies. Let's see here. Ghosts, predatory beasts of instinct and superhuman ability, and creatures are so wicked, cruel, and depraved that the only word demon does their descriptions justice. Debased and vile, these loathsome beings are attracted to humanity's vices and dark nature, and despite love, compassion, virtue, and all that is beautiful and good. Although some of these beings can take the appearance of elegant and attractive people, their true form is almost always disfigured, hideous, or monstrous, as if their physical bodies reflected the creature's true repugnant nature.
The devil comes to you in the form of an angel of light.
Exactly. That, the best lie is coated. No, the best trick is to coat, a lie in truth and then in another lie. Onion layers. Okay. Supernatural evil looks like a beautiful woman. Oh, I'm going to get into that. But the beautiful woman wants to do something. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. But baby, I love you. Oh, okay, I'll do that then. And then you end up killing a priest, and what the hell?
That's how succubuses get you in D&D.
That's how all women get you in real life.
Succubi, how if I...
There you go. There you go. And then we have the supernatural enemy. All right, they're in groups. They are in groups. Okay, so it goes from the least harmful to the most.
Come on.
First is haunters and pranksters. Right there. Things that go bump in the night. Many supernatural beings are spirits, ethereal beings made of energy. Upon entering our world, they must anchor themselves too, lest they lose their hold and vanish in but a few hours, returning to whatever hell or other dimension they came from. For some, like poltergeists, haunting entities, and others, that anchor is a human emotion or memories burned into the psychic fabric of the megaverse. This is a haunted house. Something really bad happened here that left enough powerful psychic residue to where some supernatural creature who is passing through our dimension can grab onto it like a supernatural handhold and hook to it and stay in our world. Why would they want to? Well, you'll find out. We're going to get there. Don't worry. We're going to get there.
By the way, just real quickly before Heathen Dog goes on, I'm going to do this again. Two things. We'll take a quick second break here. I'll say be sure to like, subscribe, share. Come on, guys. You want to. You really, really want to. Is that a good subliminal message? The other thing is go ahead and put in the comments, because I've been seeing it in chat here. A lot of people have been mentioning different genres in games, everything from the Dresden Files to X-Files to I can scroll back, but don't have to name them all. But what type of game? Of course, Supernatural. That came up with the. I think I should hear Kansas in the background. But. What other games and genres do you feel? Go ahead and put that in the comment section. What other settings or what type of settings outside of just your homebrew of whatever you want do you think that this game could cover? Because it seems like it's a very, very diverse game. You want to do Call of Cthulhu, but you want to do a Palladium style? Here you go. And I'm not saying that Nightbane isn't better. I'm just saying that you could do that here. You want to play your Dresden Files. You want to play your X-Files. You want to play Supernatural. You want to play your Twilight Zone. You want to play whatever.
Yeah. Twilight Zone. That is the sweet spot for this game.
Okay.
That is I think the best overall analogy is Twilight Zone.
There's one more, and I forgot the name of it.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Yep.
What's the other one that was kind of a competitor? So we control the horizontal and the vertical.
Oh, the Outer Limits.
Outer Limits. There we go. That's another one I see with this one.
Yeah, you all of those are in the same vein that Beyond the Supernatural was written in. Obviously, many of those came first, but let's see.
Supernatural Predators, or do you want to do more on the Gremlins and Ghouls?
I'm going to do the second paragraph of the Haunters and Pranksters. May seem as solid as a rock, but even for them, their link to our plane of existence is tenuous. And when that link, often the physical body they have assumed or the physical place they've latched onto is destroyed, they vanish as if they never were. Now, yes. Here is another problem with beating a supernatural evil. It stops existing in our world. All evidence of it is gone. Think of Poltergeist. at the end of Poltergeist, even the house left. The house got sucked up into the dimension, but when the cops come, they're like, where'd the house go? Oh, it got sucked up into a supernatural black hole. They're going to go, uh-huh.
No, the Amish came in and actually took it down.
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
put it up, took it down.
Yeah, exactly. They can do that in a day. Why not? Yeah, so there you go. And then there's supernatural predators. Supernatural predators are usually
slobbering
savage
monsters.
Yeah,
Sorry.
who hunt and feed on humans. They're feral, primordial fiends that are more bestial than human. They may prowl the forest or the cities or both, stalking prey in the parks and avenues or sewers or abandoned buildings, darkened alleys, brightly lit neighborhood streets. This is what I was talking about earlier about you can go in the forest 100 times, 101 time you don't come out. Why? You hit one of these things. You went there the wrong day. Sorry. Bad luck. Reverse Amish. There you go. But yeah, so you go down an alley, you end up dead. Were you robbed? Were you mugged? Were you there slashes on your body?
Eaten by hellhounds?
Or were you attacked by a supernatural thing? And now the supernatural thing is gone, and science can't explain what really happened, so they do it as much as they can using what they understand, which is, it was a wild dog, an animal attack. That happens in Supernatural all the time. Wild animal, a bear, rabid dogs, raccoons, I don't know, something. While most supernatural predators are animalistic hunters, some, like the Nightblood, exhibit human intelligence and cunning. Many play with their food, humans, before making a kill. Some like to terrorize their prey first. Others engage in cat and mouse games. Still others use seduction and trickery or playful antics to attract and toy with their prey. But in the end, they all slay their victims for food and pleasure, either devouring them whole or eating some specific part. Brain, head, hands, heart, feet, genitals,
Fingernails.
whatever. Fingernails.
The
bottom line is
genitals. Oh my God.
Whatever. Supernatural predators are hunters who may kill for pleasure, fun, or revenge, but like animals, ultimately hunt for food. Some have a favorite prey. Some will go for anyone who's just there. And it gives examples. Loup-garou, which are lycanthropes, Nightblood, Malignus, Hellhounds, Boogeymen, Narcoran.
Have you seen these in the Palladium fantasy book?
Boogeymen,
they're creepy
weird
looking little
Yeah.
imp guys. Like, it's actually something I've used a few times in my After the Bomb games.
Yes, and if you want a good analog for like a boogeyman talking, Terry Pratchett wrote Discworld, and you should check it out. The whole series is really good, but he actually has boogeymen in there, and they are they're more tricksters and pranksters than they are. See, they're little ugly pieces of crap. I mean, they are awful. I mean, compared to people, they're just mean and stupid and bad. But they're far from the most dangerous thing out there, because here we have demonic servants, tempters, schemers, seducers, and enforcers. These are your stereotypical storybook demons. Crossroads demons from Supernatural would fall under here. Succubi would fall under here. Like the devil made me do it. That's these guys. Sometimes the devil actually does make you do it. Only it's not the devil. It's one of these guys, a demonic servant. Supernatural beings that most humans think of as greater or lesser demons or devils fall into the category of demonic servant. These beings are usually intelligent and humanoid in appearance, or can assume a humanoid shape or appearance at will, and probably for indefinite amount of time. Some, like the Die book, can even assume the very appearance of an attractive human, but underneath its facade of beauty is a gruesome monster. These are the things that are made to trick you. They don't just want they don't just want to eat you. That's not their purpose. Their purpose is to corrupt you.
It's like horrors from Earth
get their kicks.
Drink.
Although each of these beings may and often do act of their own accord, their kind are regularly subjugated and forced to serve ancient evil, demon lords, and alien intelligences. In fact, they may also be made to serve humans via magic, cursed objects, demonic pacts, whatever. If you have a warlock in this day and age, you'd have to make a pact with at least a demonic servant or higher. to actually get power. And then we get to the biggies. These are the big ones, the ancient evils. Lords of darkness, death, and chaos. Ancient evil includes demon lords and gods of darkness, known, forgotten, and unknown to humankind. They are among the most dangerous of all supernatural beings and often secretly work behind the scenes to inspire and promote cruelty, evil, chaos, and destruction. They are the movers and shakers, the masterminds of the supernatural world, and the earth is their playing field. These malignant kings and queens and gods command a host of demonic servants, supernatural predators, and haunters, as well as manipulate human servants as pawns in elaborate schemes, games, and wars between themselves and for their own amusement. Now, this is where it gets a lot like second edition D&D, Manual of the Planes type stuff, where, you know, even among the evil, there are no friends. You know, they each want to one-up each other. And
Well, it seems Cthulhu-esque to me, or am I wrong?
Well,
with the ancient old ones, or whatever they're called.
Well, kinda, but
okay.
Right now we're a little bit further away.
Okay.
From that, because they all want to do the same thing, but they all want to be the winner.
Got it.
Unquote,
they all want to be Asmodeus, or
exactly. They all want to be top dog. So they're making plays upon plays upon plays to make sure not only do they win, but their rivals lose. They don't just want to win, they want other people to lose.
Okay.
And these are the what most games, these are the big dogs. These are the end. This is the end boss. This is what you're going to fight at the end of a campaign.
When I was reading through this, sorry, go on.
What's that?
When I was reading through this, this sentence stuck out to me, and I don't know if you were going to read more of this specific type. If you are, I'll let it go. Else, this is right here, the sentence that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
To call them the embodiment of evil is an accurate description, but in words themselves belie the true rage of horror and pain ancient evil can inflict upon others. This is where somebody like me, because I run very visceral, dark, sometimes gross games, I take that and I'm like, oh, we're about to have fun. As Crafty said, we have such sights to show you. Exactly. It's one of the reasons why I liked Hellraisers. It for its time anyway, it didn't shy away from that kind of gross nonsense. So
most of the time, these are the big bads. These are the ones that if a group gets to level 15 and takes out one of these gods, demon lords, or whatever, you have thrown a wrench into their evil cog. And you have ground their plans, even if only for a moment, to a stop. That's a win. That's the best win you can hope for in an ongoing fight against good and evil. You've stopped evil.
I like how you said level 15. So you're not doing this at level 2.
No, you're not doing this at level 2. You'll get murdered, death, killed. But there are things above this.
Oh, let's see what those are.
Alien intelligences. Alien intelligences.
Evil incarnate.
Yes, they were the first things in the universe to gain sentience. They live at minimum 250,000 years.
Oh, so this is more Cthulhu-esque.
Yes, here's where you get into Cthulhu. All alien intelligences have around the same configuration. They have a giant eyeball, huge lots of tentacles, and then their specialty stuff. They could have many eyeballs on their entire body. They could be covered in hair. They could be covered in mouths. But eyeball, amorphous, tentacles, that's your basic alien intelligence right there. And all of them, nope, scratch that, 99.9999% of them are irrevocably, unimaginably evil. Absolutely.
Who's the 0.001?
Thoth, the Egyptian god, used to be an alien intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there I believe there is one other alien intelligence that is written as good in the Palladium universe, but they are the white sheep. Yeah, they are the absolute aberration in this one. Alien intelligence are more powerful and more terrible than ancient evil. Even their physical bodies are monstrous mounds of pulsating flesh and slime-covered tentacles. That's their basic there. It is said that they more resemble something you'd scrape off your foot than any living thing that walks the earth. Fair enough. Gargantuan in all magnitudes, alien intelligence range in size from that of a house to an office building. These gods have nothing on these creatures. Gods are afraid of true alien intelligences. Zeus would not survive a one-on-one fight with an alien intelligence outside of Olympus. He would die horribly. Not even a thing. Can straddle dimensions and send fragments of their own miserable life essence into worlds of mortals to inspire fear, hate, murder, and madness. Example.
Urshigorm.
That is a high level alien intelligence. Fair enough. The lowest level alien intelligence is I think the Splugorth in Palladium.
Okay.
The one level above them are vampire intelligences. Their big thing is they send a fragment of their essence into the world. That fragment finds a human being, makes a deal with that human being. I will give you power. You give me what I want. I'll give you what you want. The human being says yes. Boom. That human wakes up the next night as a master vampire. His job is to make more vampires to create an anchor in the world so the alien intelligence main body can now enter. That's the master vampire's job. And then when that happens, to protect the alien, to protect the vampire intelligence. That's a master vampire's job. And all of it to make more vampires to corrupt the entire world. Now, this game has another category for enemies, that's people. The reason being is because, like I said, no one's going to believe you. They're going to try and cancel you. They're going to try and put you in an insane asylum. They're going to get you fired from your job because they're going to go on Twitter and say whatever you said to them. They're going to go on Twitter and do that, and then you're going to get fired. So yeah, the humans, the regular rank and file humans, are your enemies by accident, not by design. The supernatural evil are by design enemies of human beings. Other human beings are enemies just because that they don't get it. They just don't get it. You do. You get the score. They don't know the score. They think you're the crazy one. When you say the sky is blue, they all think it's orange. It's just there's more of them than there are of you. So you, by definition, are insane. So get with that.
Before we get into the next story part of it, can I go through some chat?
Go ahead.
Because I got a bunch starred. That back on the screen. There we go. There we go. Jack71 says, Beyond the Supernatural is one of the most underrated Palladium games, in my humble opinion. I have no experience with it, but in my skimming of it and hearing what other people said and looking at how this book is put together, right now I can understand that. This type of genre is not my cup of tea. Heathen Dog up there, he runs Call of Cthulhu. He plays in the Masters tournaments and so forth. I have literally no desire to play in the games. Not that I think that they're bad. Investigative games like that aren't for me. So, because I overthink them. GMs, I've seen too many GMs become adversarial. And now, to be fair, I listened to his game that he ran, and it didn't seem adversarial at all. It seemed very well done. It's just they're not for me. This actually happened to me. I solved an entire. What game were we playing? Wasn't Beyond the wasn't Call of Cthulhu. It was a game like it. I forget. It was in the early 90s anyway. And I actually solved it right away. Accidentally blurted out the answer. The game master got pissed off at me. And through the rest of the entire adventure, I was overthinking everything because I thought I was on a track. I wasn't on a track. It wasn't working out. And it confused the shit out of me. And I said, I hate these kind of games. So yeah, you can blame the game master, but they're not for me. But outside of that, pardon that big diatribe there for this, but yeah, I mean, I think I agree with this. What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, this is threading the needle between a Palladium universe and a Call of Cthulhu universe. It's really threading the needle right in between the two. You don't want to go too much Call of Cthulhu because then insanity will become too important and it'll be game breaking because Palladium isn't made for that. But you want people to have more dysfunction because this is a darker world than what we've come across before.
Would you say that Call of Cthulhu is better for one shot, so to speak, and this is better for a campaign?
Definitely. This is better for a campaign. Call of Cthulhu is much better for one shots. You can have a Call of Cthulhu campaign and be completely viable. Don't get me wrong. It's just that you better have 3 or 4 characters lined up, you know,
And
waiting in
always
the wings.
play the jock.
Yeah, waiting in the wings, you know, for when your character bows out or gets killed. But in this game, it's a little harder to die or go insane than in Call of Cthulhu, but it's much easier to die or go insane than in other Palladium games. Like I said, right in between.
So Omar Hawkman clarifies Stairs in the Wood is a trope of finding obviously artificial things where no human civilization is known to have existed. Okay.
Okay.
The wrong button there. Maliki says, I just want to say Dead Rain is the best take on zombies and the setting is so open to make it your own. Fine.
He has a personal grudge.
Well, no. Well, it's not against Dead Rain at all. It's just against the topic.
Zombies in general.
A lot of people have actually written to me and said that, dude, you got to give Dead Rain a look. It's really good. Maybe someday in the future I will, because I do love undead in my games. I'm just so, since 2010, so we're talking 12 years now, I have not wanted anything to do with anything zombie oriented. But that's not to say it's a bad game. And a lot of people said that Dead Rain is really good. I trust you. I just don't want to play it. Beyond the Supernatural, Dead Rain, Chaos Earth could be from almost one timeline. Thoughts? I don't know about the Dead Rain thing. I know you.
Beyond the Supernatural and Chaos Earth, 99.999% correct. Dead Rain is actually a different dimension than Beyond the Supernatural and Chaos Earth. It is not Prime.
What about Nightbane?
Not Prime.
Okay. Crafty says, I want to see more psychological horror, beast horror, ghosts and spirit horror, devils and demons, classical and mythological. It's hard to pull off,
this
though.
Is the modern day version of that right here. This right here is the modern day version of that in a Palladium setting. The only way you're going to get more of this is if you go into Rifts or you go into high level Palladium fantasy games that actually use the demons and gods book, which I have. I don't know if I have it here or it's in the shelf. It's in the shelf back there, but I actually have it. But yeah, this is where you start to see it, but at a lower magical level. Which you know, a lot of people like the lower magical level. It's got all this, not all the stuff. It's got a lot of stuff that Rifts has, but amped down. Bring it down. Because when the magic and the psionics and the supernatural is toned down a little bit, then it can be more about the characters, more about other things than just, you know, surviving to your next meal. Supernatural powers aren't as strong here than they are in Rifts. They're not an everyday thing, but when they do happen, the world can't handle it. You have to. In Rifts, everyone's got a mega damage weapon. Even Farmer Joe, he has a mega damage rifle. He may not have mega damage armor or anything like that, but he is prepared for a supernatural threat to protect his crops.
You know, at some point here, I'm gonna ask you to make a 10-15 minute video, because every time we cover something Palladium, Glitter Boys are too powerful. They're OP. I have a video on how that's not true.
Yeah.
Side note there, but so right, I say that psychological horror is hard to pull off for most game masters.
Yeah,
that's the problem. But okay, next we have Killraven. I think it's a different bogeyman in Beyond the Supernatural versus Fantasy. I don't know if you can read the writing there, but it says, see that on the
No, we can't read it.
Okay, it says a source. It's a painting. Sourcebook for use with the Palladium role-playing game and Beyond the Supernatural.
There you go.
Now, to be fair, this was first edition.
And I have to undo this because it's getting hot in here. It's this tapestry.
Yeah.
This tapestry keeps the heat in here, so starting to sweat.
But this is first edition too, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, fair enough.
But all right, next. Got 3 more. Mark Hockman says, maybe have the players acting as servants of an AI.
No, that is a big mistake a lot of game masters make. Do not let your player characters work for the bad guys. It completely destroys the idea of the game. Stop it. This game is not built for that. Don't let it happen.
And most of the time
you can be the bad guys, not in this one.
Well, and that's the thing. That's a theme across Palladium as a whole. I mean, Palladium Fantasy might be a touch different than this one, but most of the characters in the games are presented as good guys. Earthdawn does that as well, where it's like it doesn't tell you have to have an alignment, but it's like, look, the world has enough crap in it. Try to be, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's fame and infamy. In every other Palladium game besides this one, you're looking for fame. and staying away from infamy. In this game, you'll never get fame because no one will believe you, but you're still a good guy. You're still helping humanity. That's the whole point. So don't move away from the point.
All right, we're getting a bunch of good chats in the interlude here, but I can't keep starring everything. So, so thank you for the chat. So do appreciate it. But we'll have to.
Yeah, well, yeah. Toth. When Toth was one of the most powerful alien intelligences in the universes, did a magic circle spell. It went wrong, and turned into the Egyptian god form. Lost a lot of his power because, like I said, alien intelligence eat gods for breakfast. They're nothing. The big bads, they will toss a god around like a small child. It's crazy.
All right. Then we've got do that. 3 more, and I'm not gonna even if there's a good comment comes up. The thing I don't like about this game was the limited number of character classes. I actually have a comment on that myself, but I do plan on running Beyond the Supernatural game soon, but mixing with Heroes Unlimited and Venture Brothers. And here's what I've got to say about that is I generally agree because pretty much every class in the game is psychic, and we'll have a comment in the moment here that goes over that. But that is the setting of the world. That's the thing. Like I am very much a purist when it comes to the setting of the world. So when I hear something like I plan on running Beyond the Supernatural game soon, but mixing with Heroes Unlimited, then you're not playing Beyond the Supernatural. You're making a homebrew thing that was not meant for Beyond the Supernatural.
And you're making a lot of work for yourself because you will have to curate every single power that you allow, and you're not going to
he likes high-powered games.
Allow many of them.
No, he loves high-powered games, so I think he'll be fine with that.
You are going to have to curate everything, and you are going to have to apply the power mechanic of Beyond the Supernatural to hero powers as well.
Yeah, how do I not have my supernatural strength when I'm in?
Exactly, you're going to have to nerf them as much as the psychic powers and magic are nerfed in this game, or else it's going to be unbalancing.
Or it's going to be a Heroes Unlimited game with a Beyond the Supernatural feel.
Right, which is fine.
Yeah,
but you do not want to mix orange juice and milk, right? Both of them on their own are pretty good. Put them together, it's gross. And that's exactly what you're doing with this. I'm sorry.
Well, he updated his comment in chat, but we got to move on. So I think psychological horror needs very good descriptions that don't give players the conclusion for what they should feel. It should walk them all the way to the cliff and let them look over it. That is what's very tough for a typical game master, myself included.
Yes. I mean, what every game master dreams of is creating a Cloverfield type monster where the characters are deathly afraid of it, but they don't actually see it. They know it's there. They see the effects. Their friends are dying all around them. They don't really see it, but they're immensely afraid of it. It is real. It exists, even though they can't see it. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. It's a dream. Does it happen all the time? Not even close.
You got to have a really good GM. Again, in the horror games that I've played, the different ones, very rarely have I felt like it's a horror game. I felt like I was watching a Friday the 13th movie, even if it wasn't a slasher, but that's how I felt because I'm never scared in a Friday the 13th movie, you know?
Right. And in the Call of Cthulhu mythos, Lovecraft gets around that by having most of the people who survive the event go insane. So they can't actually give a proper account of what happened. Only their feelings or their non-objective viewpoint of it. So you don't get a rendition of the thing that they saw. You get an imagination of the thing they saw through the lens of their momentarily or currently broken psychotic mind state.
Hey, Heathen Dog played Amnesia Dark Descent.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so you can check that out. I don't know if it scared you much, but I know you got pissed off a lot. All right, the last one, and just so you know, Shadow and Sun, it said Venture Brothers isn't a role-playing game. Like that can be your theme. That's great. I get the theme that you're going for, but for our focus here, it's like Heathen Dog said, you're just going to have extra work to do. If you're willing to do it, it'll work out for you. It's just it's not going to be a Beyond the Supernatural game. It's going to be a
Heroes Unlimited variant.
Yeah. So Malachi says the one bad thing about Beyond the Supernatural Second Edition is that they took out all the magic user classes. Magic's going to get its own book, but that still has
still here.
Yeah, I definitely saw some magic in the book.
There's one or two magic OCCs left in Beyond the Supernatural.
But yes, you're right. When it comes, you can import anything from any other games. I get that. I get that. I get that. We're remember when we do these segment ones, we're heavily focused on staying with what we've got here.
In this game or in for this year in Palladium.
It says Venture Brothers as a setting. That's fine. It's a cartoon to me.
All right, and we're going to go to PDF page 19, vanishing evidence. Now, the vanishing proof is another story where NPCs are talking to each other, but vanishing evidence is where it actually sums it up in rules. Supernatural beings must somehow bind/anchor themselves to our plane of reality in order to remain in it. For some, that means linking itself to a powerful psychic memory, places of power, or people. For others, it requires possessing another living being and using the host body as its own. Likewise, some beings are anchored to our world by the worship of mortals, covens, cults, whatever, nighttime is the right time, and you get bad things. And for many supernatural beings, they must actually construct a physical body to inhabit, made of earthly materials or living beings in order to function, blah, blah. No matter what happens, no matter what they do, they are here artificially. So when they are defeated, when their anchor is destroyed, the house is clear, or the person who they are possessing is killed. There's no evidence of supernatural activity left because it all disappears. It literally leaves reality. It's gone. It's called discorporation. For most supernatural beings to function in the physical world, they must A, be summoned to Earth by a mortal, and B, anchor themselves in some way to stay here for any length of time, regardless of how the creature arrived on Earth. In all cases, the supernatural being's presence in our mortal plane is tenuous one at best. Consequently, when demons and other supernatural beings are slain, physically killed, their link to our reality is shattered and their physical manifestation vanishes, turning to dust or sludge or bubbles or insects or whatever. It's transitioning back to something that our reality can contain without supernatural energy.
No bones, no blood, no snot or goo.
Nothing. There's no proof left over. Nothing to examine. Nothing to show a jury. Why'd you kill Billy? Oh, Billy was possessed by a demon succubus. And here's the you're just going to jail.
You can't even get the Venkman goo on a stick. That was Venkman, right?
None of that. He slimed you. Great. That slime is gone in 10 minutes.
You look like you just got dusty powder. What did you walk through? What a construction site?
Talcum powder? What?
Yeah, there you go.
Discorporation is a weird phenomenon that confounds the efforts of paranormal investigators in their quest to prove the supernatural is real, and in some cases to prove they are not insane quacks or criminals. Yeah, we don't need to go on through that. The idea that once the anchor is gone, once you've exorcised the demons in the house, once you've killed the host to the vampire consciousness, once you've destroyed the cursed item, all proof that the supernatural was there is gone because it literally can't exist anymore. There's nothing powering it. It was alien to our universe. Our universe rejects it, and it's gone.
I think this quote needs to be read, so I'll read the first line. You get the second one, okay? Well, I don't really like the idea of you calling me honey, so never mind. Okay. So why doesn't somebody stand up to tell the truth? Honey, the loony bins are full of people what told the truth. That sums up everything we've said so far.
Yeah, basically, yes. I mean, just think, in the world of Beyond the Supernatural, every single homeless guy who's ranting, talking to himself on the side of the street, one out of 100 times, he's actually talking to something that you just can't see. Or he saw something that you can't understand, which is probably why he's homeless. Now, we know that there's a large proportion of the homeless population that are mentally deranged in some way, in some level, in some fashion. In the Beyond the Supernatural universe, there's a percentage of those people who are deranged because of crap like this. And no one believes them because they're a Mad Hatter homeless bastard. No one's going to believe them. And then it just keeps going. It goes into secrecy, and What do you tell someone? No, you don't. You fight the good fight. You stay under the radar, because nothing good can come of you telling someone the real truth. Nothing good can come of that. At best, they're going to think you're a liar. They're going to think you're unhinged. You're going to lose your job. You're going to be on the streets. At worst, you're no longer going to be able to fight the good fight because they put you in a loony bin or they put you in jail and you're done. So you shut the hell up. Keep your head down. Keep moving forward. The world needs you. Don't screw it up by trying to live stream a supernatural event. You're stupid. Don't do that. And the rest of this whole section is just game master help to explain why these things happen if players try to tell the truth. These are all the ways you can screw them over. And do it. As a game master, it's your duty to use every trick in the book to make sure that the player characters never succeed.
Especially when you have somebody who thinks he's really smart and used all the best rationalization in the world. Imagine this for just a moment, and I'm not dogging anything. I'm using just a real world example. If you don't like my example because you think I called you out, well, maybe I did. No, but if you get into a discussion between a hardcore atheist and a hardcore Christian, they're not going to convince each other. And you can have the most rational discussion you want on either side of that fence, whatever your belief is, and yet you're not going to come out the winner.
Nope.
Because of the fact that somebody's arms are just crossed. And that's just the way it is. And the same thing happens here. You can have all the evidence, all the conspiracies in the world. Pretty soon you're just a loon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Cognitive dissonance.
Exactly. Yeah. I am a hardcore atheist. I have to acknowledge the fact that it is more logical to believe in God than not. There is a huge downside if I'm wrong, and absolutely no downside if I'm not.
And then there'd be others who absolutely disagree with that. As somebody, I don't get in the religious debates anymore, but as somebody who is, we'll just say I'm very much more pro-religion, and I can debate that. I think that the last thing he just said there is a fallacy. However, we are not going to convince each other, nor am I going to try.
There you go. So, but I still don't believe in a higher power at all.
I definitely do.
He definitely does. I definitely don't. But we both have the same problem. None of us can prove we're right. And that's the beyond the supernatural problem. The player characters can never prove they're right. You can't prove a negative, and discorporation creates the negative.
Yep, exactly.
That's the rub. That's the rub. You, as a game master, you can never let them prove the supernatural exists. It literally breaks the game, and there's a mechanic to make them stop. And that whole thing right there, that entire section is designed to help the game master stop the player from doing something stupid, like trying to prove the supernatural exists.
Do you want to cover the characters?
Think we're done today, okay, because the next thing is characters and psychic. And psychics and stuff like that in the psychic world, and I think that's going to be a different day.
I was just wondering if you wanted to do the characters and just the character section, because next week we would just start with psychics, and because it's going to be a long.
Well, the whole character thing is pretty much everything I've been talking about.
Okay.
So we don't really need to.
Actually, yeah, a lot of this is just covering his history of playing.
Yeah. So it's not important to the game.
Okay. All right. Then next week, we are going to start with the psychic world. And next week is going to be all about psychics. Ooh, I think I have a little picture for that. Hold on. Let me find my picture. And I do have I know I've got a couple of chats to read. I'll do it. Okay. There we go. Psionics, psychic character. Should I change it to psychics, or should I just leave it psionics? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide in chat. But that's what we're.
Change it.
You think I should change it?
Yeah.
To psychics? Okay.
Psychics,
I'll change it before next week. That's just how I have it written now. So, but we'll have psychic character. Then that's weird because it'll be psychic,
you'll have to
psychic
change
character
the
classes.
character class to something else.
No, I'll just make psychic the white and then character classes after that. It's just all psychic.
Okay.
That's fine. I can do that. All right,
Yeah.
but please like, subscribe, share. I'm enjoying this series so far. It's the first one, I know, but you know what? This is a game I've never played before, and I'm liking it so far. So there you go. I think you should too. And I will take that
Before
off
we end the segment, we should look at the last of the star chats. Yeah.
Boom. Killraven says, just for the record, there really are no Magic Arcane classes in second edition. Kevin took them out with his intent to put them in their own book, but never made that book. Maybe that's something we can ask when he comes here.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him that. But I thought there is an Arcanist in here. I thought it had magic, but maybe I was wrong. Okay.
Let me add that to my list of questions that I might get to ask him. Well, let me reiterate on here. On 14th of August, barring anything weird happening, Kevin has agreed to actually come on RPG Digest and talk to us. He said he can give us a maximum of 90 to 120 minutes. So, we've got limited time with him, but that's perfect. And it'll be after Gen Con, and we very much look forward to that. And if you've got any questions, you like that, concerns, you can come by our Discord, link in the description below, and post them in the suggestions channel. No guarantees we'll get to them, but we will try to get to them, and we'll ask him. We'll ask him about things like that. Like, are you going to make that book? Really, this is a chance for us to get to know him, what his philosophies are when it comes to game design. We're not just going to be poignant questions. Are you going to do this? You can do that? No, it's going to find out like what had got him started, what his future is with this, et cetera, et cetera. We want to know about Kevin himself. We can figure out how the games work by reading the games.
Yeah. And his view for the future. I have a couple of questions about Savage World, stuff like that. Like, where is this going? All that stuff. So I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
There you go. So so if you didn't know about that, he'll be on 14th of August, 2022. And in the meantime, which only one half of this has been advertised, we have a giveaway. Oh. We have a members only giveaway that I've already advertised, which you can go to our YouTube channel and look in the community tab and see the rules for it there, or you can go to our webpage, and I'll bring that up later, probably during segment 2. That's for members only, but we're going to have a public giveaway also. Kevin has agreed. He hasn't told me exactly how many. I don't want to break his bank, but he said that he's willing to sign and give away some books. And that giveaway announcement, I think, happens tomorrow is when I have it scheduled for, but I can show some of you about that in segment 2 today. So know that we are going to have some Palladium book giveaways and some gift certificate giveaways. So look at all that. DJ Myth giving you stuff, inviting people on and giving you stuff. And Kevin has been absolutely crazily gracious in emails. So good on him. He's been one of the best people I've ever had, short communications back and forth with email. Okay, let's go next one. DJ Myth, would you consider Super 8 and Beyond the Supernatural setting? I'm not. I don't know what Super 8 is. Yeah. And Beyond the Supernatural is a setting, yeah. People are just trying to get pedantic. Oh, Venture Brothers is saying, no, it's a stupid cartoon. Shut up. Actually, I like the cartoon, but you guys need someone off camera to add random comments. Now
it sounds like cheating.
Yeah,
sounds like cheating, and Schlo is too cheap to pay someone to do that. Except, no, wait, we have your wife. You have to give her a list of things.
She's probably not watching anymore. This stuff bores her.
Okay, you have to give her a list of things and a timestamp to put it in.
All right. With that, I'm just trying to get under people's skin, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's it for the things that we really need to put on screen. So that's it. That's going to be it for segment 1. Let me put the branding up real quick so you can see it. Boom. We want to thank all of our people. We got a lot more chat than what any of you folks saw on screen. We really do appreciate those people in chat. Yeah, all the people who support us, the super chat we got earlier, et cetera, et cetera. That is our streaming schedule. Obviously, the videos go live throughout the week, but that is our streaming schedule. Sundays and Fridays are about tabletop role-playing games. Thursdays and Saturdays over on Twitch, Heathen Dog streams a video game. Right now, it happens to be Dungeons & Dragons Online. But if you watch us a year from now, he might be playing something totally different. Oh, I found a horror game I want you to play.
Oh, good.
But it's a single-player game, and I know you're doing co-op stuff now, so I don't want to mess with that. So, and There's some links for you to check out. Come to our Discord, talk to us on our Discord, ask us questions that you want us to ask Kevin on the 14th of August, and we may or may not get to them. And you'll find out more information about the giveaway in our Discord as well. And in the, the YouTube community tab. There we go. And finally,